And so what was President Xi saying yesterday?
Well, we were talking mostly about the virus, and I think he's going to have it in good shape, but, it's a very tricky situation.
Indeed
it goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. People don't realize we lose 25,000, 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right?
I know. It's
pretty amazing. And then I say, well, is that the same thing? This is more deadly. This is 5 per... this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff. Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob. Just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older.
Yeah, exactly.
Young people, to plenty of young people.
So
what's going on
give me a moment of talking to somebody, going through this with Fauci or somebody who kind of it caused a pivot in your mind, because it's clear just from what's on the public record that you went through a pivot on this to, oh my God, the gravity is almost inexplicable and unexplainable.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you...
Sure, I want you to
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
What this means is that Trump knew. He knew the danger of this virus as early as February 7th, when this clip was recorded between Trump and journalist Bob Woodward. He knew the death rate, he knew it was more dangerous than the flu, he knew about its quick transmissibility, he knew all of these details. And yet publicly, when it came to giving this vital, life-saving information to the American people, here's what he was saying.
And again, when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done. It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Stay calm. It will go away. You know it is going away. And it will go away. And we're going to have a great victory.
Well, I think the 3.4% is really a false number. Now, this is just my hunch. But based on a lot of conversations with a lot of people that do this, because a lot of people will have this, and it's very mild. They'll get better very rapidly. They don't even see a doctor. They don't even call a doctor. You never hear about those people, so you can't put them down in the category of the overall population in terms of this corona flu and or virus. So you just can't do that. So if we have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that get better just by, sitting around and even going to work. Some of them go to work, but they get better.
And it's not just his own words, it's in writing too. He took to Twitter on March 9th, more than a month after this initial clip with Woodward, and wrote, quote, "So last year, 37,000 Americans died from the common flu. It averages between 27,000 and 70,000 per year. Nothing is shut down. Life in the economy will go on. At this moment, there are 546 confirmed cases of coronavirus with 22 deaths. Think about that." He played it down publicly, so that instead of being able to prepare for the virus that would go on to kill hundreds of thousands of Americans, we were left in the dark. We were left confused by the chaos that he knowingly sowed. We were left unprepared. Why? Because he wanted to create some momentary, false sense of security. He wanted to protect the stock market and the economy, and he sacrificed the safety of the American people to do that. Here's the thing, it's one thing not to incite panic. It's another thing to lie about a deadly pandemic that would ultimately kill hundreds of thousands of Americans. And what Trump did was the latter. And it's not like we can't know whether full transparency would have been effective. All we have to do is look at most countries throughout the world. South Korea's leader didn't appear on national television and promise that the virus would miraculously disappear with the heat. They took immediate action. They coordinated a nationwide testing and contact tracing system. They produced PPE. They encouraged the use of masks. The same happened in Germany, in New Zealand, in Canada. We don't live in a vacuum. We have the benefit of being able to compare our government's response in real time to that of other governments that opted not for denialism, but for transparency. Their strategy was largely successful. Ours is an abject failure. And Republicans will undoubtedly try to spin this however they can, but the simple fact is that what Trump said to the American people was in direct contrast to what he told Bob Woodward. He knew the virus was dangerous and deadly. He knew it was easily transmissible. He knew it had a mortality rate leagues worse than the flu. He made the conscious decision to lie to the American people on a daily basis because he put his own re-election above our lives. We lost the months of February and March when we could have actually contained the virus. We lost it to Trump's denialism. We lost it to him throwing himself a victory parade for a half-baked travel ban to China that clearly did not work. We lost it to promises of the miraculous disappearance of the virus. That's time we'll never get back, leading to the loss of lives that we'll never get back. And it was the fault of one person, Donald Trump. While you're here, please subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I take a deeper dive into the week's biggest stories and interview major players in the world of politics, like Kamala Harris, Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, Eric Swalwell, and many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.